I am so bad at starting these videos. I don't know why. I've done this long enough to know how to start a video. Obviously, I still don't know how to start a video. But anyway, the title of this video might anger some viewers, and to that I say, I don't know what to tell you. It's the truth. I feel like at least twice a year there's a big argument on social media on whether or not 4C hair is hard to maintain and manage. This time I saw this conversation happening on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. And it was completely split down the middle of people who deemed 4C hair hard to manage and maintain, and then others who were like, y'all are full of bullshit. In this video, I want to briefly explore Black women's complicated relationship with their hair and the root causes of it. I also want to discuss the myths that exist within the natural hair community and the harmful effects that come from this negative self-talk about 4C hair. And before y'all come for me, yes, I have 4B/4C hair, and honestly, I feel like the maintenance and the products and techniques that you do for 4B hair is very similar, if not the same, to 4C hair. I really don't see that much difference besides just the way the texture of the hair looks. It's no surprise and no secret that since slavery, Black hair has been discriminated against all throughout history. Because of this, the European beauty standards were enforced in societies, and societies kind of just had to abide by them. Wearing our natural hair became politicized. There was even a law passed in 1786 called the Tignon Law. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but in this law, they actually outlawed Black women from wearing their hair out and about, and so they made Black women cover it up in head wraps because they wanted Black women to draw less attention to themselves and to stifle their self-expression. Back in the day, it was super hard for us to fit into society's standards, so products like relaxers, texturizers, any type of texture changing product became super popular back then because it made it a lot easier for Black women to be accepted into society, or really just for Black women to experience less discrimination. We're already getting discriminated against for our skin color, so changing the texture of our hair was just one less thing to be discriminated against for. And during times like that, I completely understand how it was hard for Black women to love their natural hair when everyone is essentially telling you not to. Thankfully, there have been many waves of the natural hair movement that encourages us to embrace our natural kinks and curls, but still not everyone feels comfortable enough to do so. For me, I'm the type of natural hair girl to where I can wear my hair in any type of setting. I don't care if it's the club, I don't care if it's a special occasion, I don't care if it's a corporate setting, I'm going to wear my natural hair. I do not care. I do not want to be in any space that wouldn't allow me to do so and wouldn't accept me. That's just the type of person that I am, but I understand that not everyone feels the same way. I knew a girl in college who always had her hair laid, like whether it was a sew-in, a lace front, braids, she always had her hair manipulated and done in a type of way to where she wasn't really wearing her natural hair. And when she was wearing her natural hair in the rare occasions, she wouldn't feel as confident because it was a 4C hair texture. And so she wouldn't be, inclined to go to parties and things like that when she had her natural hair out. I even worked with a lady who constantly had her natural hair straightened. It was rare, very rare that she ever wore it curly, and she would always talk about how her mom said that wearing her natural hair was super unprofessional in a work setting, and it just didn't look professional and sophisticated. And she would constantly say this, and I low-key thought that she was dissing me. We were really like 2 out of the 5 Black people in the entire office, and mind you, this office had over 100 people. We were 2 out of 5, and there was only one other girl that would wear her natural hair. Besides me and that girl, no other Black woman was wearing their natural hair. It was either straightened or manipulated in some type of way, braids, wigs. I still didn't care though. you know, don't hire me if you don't want me to wear my natural hair. Like, I wouldn't even want to work for a company that wouldn't want me to wear the hair that grows out of my scalp. I say all of that to say that Black women still feel the effects of hair discrimination today. It still exists today. It's a lot better than it was in the past, but it still heavily affects us today deeply. Now on to some myths about the natural hair community. This also might piss some more people off. Sorry, it has to be said. There are a lot of myths in the natural hair community, and I feel like the sooner that we are honest with ourselves, then the sooner we can destigmatize natural hair. Obviously, from the title of this video, one of the biggest myths about natural hair is that 4C hair is the hardest to maintain or manage. False. 4C hair is so versatile. You can do almost everything with 4C hair. Some of the reasons why people feel this way about their 4C hair is really because y'all tend to overcomplicate your hair routine. You don't need any fancy products, and you just need to have a consistent routine. A lot of those with 4C hair also tend to not use the right techniques with their hair, and they manipulate their hair in a way to where they're expecting results of someone that has a looser curl pattern like type 3, and then they're disappointed when it doesn't turn out the same. You can't mimic and then expect other hair type results. That's not how 4C hair works. Like I mentioned before, you need a routine with your 4C hair, any hair really. There's no reason, and I mean no reason, why you should be going weeks without washing your natural hair. No reason. And I don't care if it's in a protective style or not, braids, none of that. There is absolutely no reason why you should be going weeks without washing your hair. I remember one time I saw a TikTok video of a young lady who hadn't washed her hair in half a year. Half a year. How do you go half a year without washing your hair? My scalp would be itching and burning and itching. Baby, I could barely get to 7 days without washing my hair. I have to wash my hair consistently, routinely, for a healthy and happy scalp. I don't know how y'all go through it. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't understand how y'all silk presses last 2 weeks without it itching and burning. I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe I just have a sensitive scalp, y'all. Also too, I sweat from my head, so I have to wash my hair pretty frequently. But my silk presses, I don't wear them for longer than a week max, y'all. A week max. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I know y'all might be thinking what a waste of a silk press, but trust and believe, hair is still healthy-ish. Healthy-ish, okay? Like, what is healthy hair? My scalp needs water. My hair needs water. Your hair needs water. Our hair needs water and to be washed. And for those that prolong their wash day, don't be confused on why wash days are hard for you when you're essentially neglecting your hair. You've neglected your hair for weeks and then expect your hair to treat you nicely during your wash day. Y'all don't know each other. Y'all are strangers. Also, some of y'all be too rough when it comes to detangling your hair. I don't care what no one says. I don't think using a wide tooth comb is ideal for type 4 hair. It's just too big, and our coils are so small and tiny to where I don't think it's really detangling anything. Also, if you're gonna detangle your hair needs to be drenched or saturated in some type of product to help the brush move smoothly against your hair to get out the tangles. If you are detangling your hair dry, what do you expect to happen? You are abusing your hair. Don't detangle your hair dry. You're asking for bad results. And that's another reason why you're probably not retaining any length either. And this is where my controversial opinion of y'all are just entirely too old to hate your 4C hair. Sorry, but also not sorry. If you are above the age of 15 and you are able-bodied, there is no excuse for you to hate your natural hair. There is no excuse for you to not know how to do your natural hair. There are too many resources out there for you to learn how to do your own hair. It's really not that difficult. Another big myth in the natural hair community is that the movement is all about having healthy natural hair. It's not. Let's drop the facade. Let's stop lying to ourselves. As long as your hair looks healthy or long and defined, that's all people care about in the natural hair movement. As long as your hair appears healthy, you have good hair. If your hair isn't long, then it better be defined. If it's not defined, then it better be long. And I'm pretty sure the most commonly asked questions when it comes to natural hair is how to grow it long and how to define your curls more. Like, we honestly do not care about the actual integrity of our hair. We just care about, does it look good and does it appear healthy and long and luscious? And that goes really for any hair type. I don't think we actually care about the health of our hair until we damage it to no return. That's when we start to care, but only because we want to grow it back long. We care for our hair for aesthetic reasons. Like, it's superficial, I know. There's been a rise of my heat-trained girlies, my heat-trained warriors. I'm sorry to say this, your hair is just damaged. It's not trained nothing. It's just slightly damaged from the heat, which makes it easier to manipulate it straight. It's damaged. There's no such thing as healthy heat trained hair. And that's okay. If that's what you want, that is okay. But let's just be honest and understand that heat trained is just slightly damaged. Okay, let's not fool ourselves or anybody else. Anything that changes your natural hair texture damages. Hair dye, relaxers, heat, it's damaging. Also, there is no such thing as healthy, relaxed hair. Get out of my face with that. No such thing as healthy, relaxed hair. You are chemically processing your hair. What is healthy about that? Relaxers have literally been linked to cancer multiple times. I will never be for relaxers. I used to get them when I was a kid. Will never, ever get a relaxer again. The cons outweigh the pros. And honestly, personally, I don't think relaxed hair looks better than natural hair when it's silk pressed or straightened. I always think natural hair that's silk pressed and straightened looks a lot more lively and fuller than relaxed straightened hair. Another controversial opinion that I might have is if you wear braids, if you wear lace fronts, if you wear any type of leave out type of sew-in situations, you are able to manage 4C hair. You cannot convince me that managing those protective styles is a lot easier than managing your own 4C hair. Those hairstyles require constant manipulation to keep them looking fresh and blending in your hair constantly versus your natural hair. You just can't convince me. And I'm not even the type to wear lace fronts and sew-ins and things like that, so maybe I'm wrong. But you just can't convince me that it's not as tiring as taking care of your natural hair. I feel like the upkeep of those styles are way more work in the end than just doing your natural hair. And can we stop watching tutorials of girls with type 2, type 3 hair and expecting the same results? You could do the same hairstyles, but understand it is not going to look the same. We have two completely different textures, and that's okay. I feel like a lot more people might agree with this than not, but I was never a fan of slicking down the edges. I of course participated in it in the past, but then I shortly realized that, oh, there is literally no point to this, as my hair literally does not stay slicked down for longer than like 10 minutes. I live in a humid place and I have type 4 thick, coarse hair. Who am I trying to fool? It's no surprise that my edges are coarse and thick. And honestly, I feel like I see a lot more women, at least women around me, who have stopped with the whole intricate edges and stuff. If you still do that, that's you. I think it looks cute. But for me, it just doesn't make sense. I just think that we really need to get a grasp on how we talk about our 4C hair, especially when it's negative. Talking about our 4C hair in a negative way is not just something that is affecting ourselves, but it's also affecting younger generations too. Saying and commenting things such as my 4C can never and I don't foresee this happening was like cute and funny at first, but now it's just kind of sad because younger people are seeing this and internalizing it and hating their 4C hair just like you hate yours. So it's really no surprise that we're seeing a lot of these younger girls, you know, wear a lot of lace fronts and wigs and sew-ins and a lot of, you know, high maintenance hairstyles. Why would they wear their 4C hair when y'all make it seem like it's such a chore, like it's a curse to even have 4C hair? In conclusion, I think it's time that we stop hating our 4C hair. And if you do hate your hair, just be honest about it. Don't blame your hair, it's just you. 4C hair has always been versatile and beautiful if you just let it be 4C. If you're a Black woman with natural hair or textured hair, how do you feel about your hair? Did you ever go through a period of disliking your hair? I feel like that's something that's so common. I'm just really curious to know, have you ever hated your natural hair? If so, why? And if you don't anymore, what made you stop hating your natural hair? Other than that, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next week.